Happy 2023, my fellow small business supporters.
Party on, Wayne! Party on, Garth.
Please excuse the state of my office. It is a mess in here, and that is for a very valid reason, which was that I originally wasn't planning to come back to YouTube until next week. My initial first video back of 2023 was scheduled to be January 13th, and I still will have a video out that day, and that is when I'm going to resume my usual 3 videos a week schedule, but I decided to put one out early because maybe this wasn't the best week to take off from making videos considering all the weird shit going on right now.
What is going on?
So I was like, okay, there's some drama over here. I can avoid it for a couple weeks. There's some drama over here. I can avoid that for a couple weeks. It's okay. And then today I saw that a romance author faked her own death 2 years ago and was just found to be alive. And I could no longer ignore it, you guys. I could no longer ignore it. I could no longer ignore the wild shit going on in the book world right now.
Something has to be done!
So, you guys are getting a video early from me. Today, we are going to be telling the story of the romance author who faked her own death, who went full Dino Spumoni from Hey Arnold, faked her own death, sold some more books, and then reappeared 2 years later, alive. You can't make this shit up.
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should pick up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome for the first time. I'm Savvy, and this is Savvy Writes Books. This is the channel where we talk about books and business, which is a combination of book reviews, discussions of the book publishing industry, discussions of business gurus and shady business practices, and how that can all fit into lifestyle of wanting to be a creative type of entrepreneur and all of that. So if those type of videos interest you, please don't forget to subscribe. I put out new videos 3 times a week, even though I'm still on break right now, but I came back because this was just too important, okay? So go ahead, take a minute to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll get notified as I continue to put out more new videos for the year of 2023. I'll wait while you do it. I'll even drink out of my, this is my Christmas movie watching mug. I will drink out of that even though Christmas is over. Christmas isn't over till February. Chicago's still cold, okay?
Please, it's Christmas. It's December 10th.
Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget in the description below to check out my second channel, Your Morning Guru, which is where I live stream every single weekday morning at 7 a.m. Central with a morning show to get you up in the morning. So if you missed me, you don't have to miss me. I'm right there. I was right there all along. I was like the girl next door, okay? So for today's topic, I have to give a couple shout outs. First of all, the person who notified me of this topic, who said, Savvy, did you hear about this? And slid into my DMs, was a very nice woman named Lisa, who runs a newer, smaller booktube channel called The Book Eclectic. I will put it up on the screen and link it in the description below. I highly recommend you guys check her out because she's wonderful. She actually had me on her channel. We did an interview about my book Savvy Business Owner a while back. She's really cool. Definitely check her out, but she was up to date on this whole controversy going on in the author world, and she sent this to me. And then I was on Twitter. I had almost forgotten about this, and then I was scrolling Twitter and I saw Jenny Nicholson had retweeted this as well, and I was like, people are really talking about this, aren't they? Maybe I need to look into this a little more. And it's crazier than you could even imagine. So anyway, check out Lisa's channel. Now let's get into the drama. What exactly happened with this author who faked her own death? Okay. You guys, I've covered a lot of authors doing weird shit on this channel. You remember Matt Walsh? I mean, he's probably the creepiest and weirdest of them all. We've reviewed his book. Remember Dave Hollis's whole fiasco? Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book? I mean, remember Gabby Hanna? Remember Gabby Hanna and all the crazy shit she did? Okay, we have covered a lot of weird author behavior on this channel before, and I, as an author myself, have a very invested interest in this because I don't like authors making us look bad. I don't like there being authors out there, especially independent authors, but regardless of the type of author, I don't like authors being out there doing this crazy batshit behavior and making us all look like we're just attention-hungry little clout goblins, okay? Because we're not. Some of us care about our art. Is that me? Read my books in the description below to find out. Anyway, let's talk about this whole author drama. This is by far the weirdest one I have ever seen happen. So, shout out to this Twitter account who has been documenting the whole thing. Okay, so this Twitter account is called Be A Lot Cooler If You Did, and it says, just the facts, I know a lot about things, I can't tell you how, reality TV and true crime are my passion. So, I've never heard of this account before, but I guess they're a true crime account. All right, let's look at what is going on with this whole thread. So it starts off like this. Author Susan Meachen died from suicide 2 years ago. Except it turns out she didn't. What an absolute piece of shit. All right, let's look through these pictures and take a look at these receipts, okay? So, to start off, it looks like there's this Facebook group called The Ward. And The Ward appears to be an author Facebook group. I've been a part of many author Facebook groups in my time. Author Facebook groups tend to be where a lot of drama goes down, so I'm not that surprised, but this is next level, okay? The Ward, please share. Before Susan Meachen passed away, she had written her last book. So this is from October 22nd of 2020. So this was around the time that it was announced that Susan had died. Susan was an author who was a part of this Facebook group. I believe she was a romance author. We'll look at her Amazon page in a second. She was putting out a bunch of romance books. A lot of them weren't selling very well. And then I believe she did have some actual type of health emergency that we'll delve into here as well. And then she decided to just say that she was dead and post in the group claiming that this is Susan's daughter. Mom died last night, okay? She did that. So, anyway, this is Connie Ortiz posting in the group, and I believe Connie is her sister, but we'll verify that in a second. So Connie says, please share. Before Susan Meachen passed away, she had written her last book, Love to Last a Lifetime. She wanted to have it published by her daughter's wedding. This is it. It is on pre-order now for $1.99. Release date is October 30th. So this is what I meant when I said going full Dino Spumoni. You remember that episode of Hey Arnold where Dino Spumoni wasn't selling a lot of records, so he decided to fake his own death, but really he was just living in the trash can behind Arnold's boarding house, and he was selling a ton of records, and then after a while he realized, I miss being alive, and he came back? This literally happened in real life. I love when Hey Arnold imitates life and life imitates Hey Arnold. I think that's what Aristotle once said would happen. But this is just so funny. I'm hesitant to go this far, but if I may even call this a commentary on capitalism. This is a commentary on capitalism right here. It's like this post that's like, she had written her last book. She had a dream to have this published. And now you can pre-order it. Link in description below. Don't forget to click that link and smash that like button and pay me money on Amazon. Oh my god. Like, this is a commentary on capitalism, okay? A Love to Last a Lifetime by Susan Meachen available to pre-order. So this is the description of the book. I was born into wealth and prestige. There was nothing that I couldn't have. Or so I thought. One night is all it took to change my world. In retrospect, this is kind of funny. This is kind of a funny description. Like, if instead of thinking that this is a fictional romance novel, if we think that this is an autobiography about Susan faking her death, this is a very funny description if you put it in that context, okay? No, never mind. Now it's back to the romance. We saw each other for the first time that autumn night. I was a young man at 25 years, and Greta had just turned 19. Andrew Tatus entered the chat. Sorry, let's continue. So, anyway, Susan Meachen just posted this like a day or two ago, okay? She just posted this on Facebook. She decided to come out of the closet as having been alive all along.
That's Bruce Willis, the whole movie.
Okay, here's what she said. I debated on how to do this a million times and still not sure if it's right or not. There's going to be tons of questions and a lot of people leaving the group, I guess. But my family did what they thought was best for me, and I can't fault them for it. I almost died again at my own hand, and they had to go through all that hell again. Returning to the ward doesn't mean much, but I am in a good place now, and I am hoping to write again. Let the fun begin. So, I like that there's a variety of reactions. I like that she ends it with, let the fun begin. Okay, first of all, let me give a quick disclaimer. Here's the thing, I'm hesitant to trust if what she's saying is true based on the fact that she literally faked her death for 2 years. But I think it's important to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially when they're going through mental health struggles, because I've been there too. When she talks about how she's still dealing with some struggles and how she almost died, I do feel bad for Susan in that case. I think she should maybe just stay off the internet. I don't know if the internet is the place for her at this time, okay? But she says she's back to the group, and she says, let the fun begin. And this person just says, I believe this, the comments clarified, this stood for welcome back. So Del Davis is here just going, welcome back? I'm sorry, did you just say you're alive? Let's continue to go through the receipts here, okay? So this is a post on Facebook from a woman named Samantha A. Cole, who was originally part of this group with Susan Meachen and feels very betrayed by the whole ordeal. Here's what she says. I'm not sure where to start. Last night I got a message from Rhonda Butterbaugh asking if I remember Susan Meachen. Of course I did, and within the hour I was horrified, stunned, livid, felt like I'd been kicked in the gut and the chest at the same time. I'm still sick to my stomach, and it's gotten worse. In September of 2020, Susan Meachen's daughter, supposedly it was her daughter, signed into her mother's profile and announced that Susan had taken her own life. Devastation from her friends, fellow authors, and readers followed. Allegedly, she'd been bullied in the book world to the point of ending her life. What followed was rants from said daughter about how horrid the book world had been to Susan, and the family wanted nothing to do with the book world from that point on. However, they wanted to honor their mother's memory by publishing the last book she wrote, which they did. Friends, authors, and readers shared the release. We grieved for the loss of the woman we considered a friend. I personally was harassed by another author who loves to create drama, claiming I was one of the authors who bullied Susan and drove her to end her life. I was heartbroken when I realized it had been a few months since I'd chatted with Susan in the DMs and wish I'd reached out sooner, and maybe it would have made a difference for her to know there were people who supported her. Okay, let's continue. Last night, a post was made in Susan's old reader group, The Ward, from Susan's profile, and I quote, and this is the part that I just read where she admits to being alive, okay, and goes, "Let the fun begin."
And here we go.
That sounds like the Joker or someone's about to say. Like, that sounds like a supervillain line is like, "Checkmate, atheists, I was alive all along, let the fun begin." Like, what? That's so weirdly sinister. So Samantha here continues, apparently she's not dead. T.N. Steele, that was another author's name who was on the group. T.N. Steele was a profile she made months after her alleged ending of life. Okay, so she made up a fake name to continue pretending to be alive. What follows are some screenshots from the group, her profile, and the chat I just had with a dead person. Excuse me while I now go get shit-faced in memory of coworkers and friends I know who really did end their life. So a lot of people are mad about this because they're like, okay, a lot of us have gone through trauma in our lives where we've had considerations about doing that type of thing, or we've had people in our lives who have actually ended their own lives, and to see someone using this as like a tactic to sell shitty romance novels is disgusting. And when I say shitty romance novels, let me be clear. I don't think that romance novels themselves are shitty. I actually love romance. I especially love cheesy Christmas romance. In fact, I write romance. I don't know if you guys know that. I have a fake pen name. By fake pen name, I mean it's not fake. It's a real pen name, but it's not Savvy Writes Books. I have another name out there on Amazon that I publish tons of romances under. I have a lot more books out than you guys think I do. So my point is, I have nothing but respect for romance, but in this case, it's no genre is worth faking your death over, Susan. So this is a post from Connie Ortiz, who once again was Susan's sister. I guess still is Susan's sister because Susan's still alive. Anyway, this is a post from Susan's sister in that Facebook group. This was from November of 2022, so about 2 months ago now. And so this post would have theoretically been about 2 years after Susan's supposed death, and about a month and a half before it was revealed that she's still alive. So this was an in memoriam type of thing still. Connie says, "Wow, it's been a while. I'm so sorry for not being here as often as I should. My life has been a roller coaster this year, taking care of my husband, my son's accident, and my sister's death." Okay. Sure, Jan. "Has kept me away from this group. I've been considering closing it down, but that would not be fair to you. If anyone wants to take over this group, please let me know. Susan Meachen worked hard to keep this group going, and it would be a disservice to her if I close it. I will be around once in a while. I have a lot of good friends that I don't want to break that connection with you. Just let me know if you want to take over the group." And then T.N. Steele, who is supposedly actually just Susan under a fake account. Susan is not only was she alive, she was interacting in the Facebook group the whole time. She was Bruce Willis all along, okay? Susan appears and says, "I'll take it, Connie Ortiz. I will overhaul it in hopes that it pleases you and Susan." So Susan, while being alive, had her sister post on her Facebook group saying, Susan really loved this group of readers of her books that promoted her work after her death. And we want to keep this Facebook group going, but I don't want to keep running it anymore. Only for this other author, T.N. Steele, who was a sock puppet account of Susan's. T.N. Steele says, "I'll take over the group." So Susan not only was alive, she's still running the group. Susan is literally a ghost right now, okay? This Facebook group is run by a ghost. So this person even said T.N. Steele is Susan Meachen, the dead author, okay? Oh my god. So this was from October 23rd of 2020. This was right when her supposed death was first announced. What Susan had posted in the Facebook group said, well, not Susan. Well, yeah, it actually was Susan, but you'll see. Sorry, thought everyone on this page knew my mom passed away. Dead people don't post on social media. I've been on this count for a week now, finishing her last book, My Wedding Gift from Her. If you'd like to talk to some of the people who have been helping me, let me know. We've asked for very little from everyone, but I'm asking you leave Connie Ortiz alone. She has been a saint through all this. She deserves some peace. Again, please be respectful. Now here's the link to her last book, and goodbye! I love how she's like, my mom's dead. Buy her book. Why do you even follow my dead mom if you don't already own her book? Spoiler alert, mom's alive, and Susan was the daughter all along. This is incredible. This is incredible. At the time, a group of authors dedicated this anthology to her. Proceeds were given to the family. By the way, these are USA Today best-selling authors, okay? So, Susan was claiming that she ended her life due to bullying in the book community, but she's actually alive, so no, she didn't. Anyway, this was a dedication someone put in an anthology that was published when people still thought she was dead. They said, for Susan Meachen, an author of what she called perfectly flawed romances, the world is a little less bright without her. Words can hurt, but they don't have to. Words can also heal. Let's keep bullying where it belongs. In fiction. That reminds me of that South Park anti-bullying song. And then they posted... I'm sorry. This is the funniest fucking cover I've ever seen in my life. Bully King Anthology? Bully King? Paranormal Bully Romance? What? Maybe I'm just an uncultured sack of shit. What the fuck is bully romance? Because my first thought, if someone's using bully as, like, a category instead of, like, a way to call someone mean, if you're using it as a category of things, my first thought is, like, bulldogs, pit bulls, like, breeds of dogs, but... No, that's not what, this is clearly not furry shit. We're not in the Omegaverse right now, okay? Hold on. Bully King Anthology. What is bully romance? Oh, it's just the same thing as, like, bad boy romance. It's when someone falls for a guy who bullies them. It's like enemies to lovers, bad boy stuff. Okay. But this is just the funniest thing where they're like, this dedication, they're like, let's keep the bullying in fiction. We are so sorry for our friend who died due to bullying. Anyway, here's some, like, hot shirtless dude in front of the full moon like he's a werewolf. He's the bad boy that bullies her into submission. Let's celebrate this the romance way. I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying it's funny as hell, okay? Okay, so here's Susan Meachen's Amazon page. Let's take a look. This was her most recent book, Love to Last a Lifetime. This was the book that was published after her death, which it was everything that's been published has been published before her death because Susan's death hasn't actually happened. Let's see how well this book sold. This book that she faked her death to increase the sales of has 7 ratings. Wow. Congrats, we're all so proud of you. It's ranked 2 million in the Kindle store. It's 50 pages long. That's okay, most of my romance novellas are only like 40 pages, I get it. Short romance is great. It has good reviews overall, but it's not like it became a giant breakout bestseller. Oh my god. So she has a bunch of romance novels with graphic design as my passion tier covers. This is hilarious. So this is the article that Jezebel just posted about this. As of when I'm filming this, an hour ago. Wow, I'm right on top of the pulse. Look at me. Novelist appears to announce she's alive 2 years after faking ending of life. Let the fun begin! I can't stop picturing the Joker, dude. In October 2020, a post on indie romance author Susan Meachen's Facebook page, allegedly written by her daughter, announced that Meachen had tragically died a month earlier. This news was followed by more posts from Meachen's daughter on Meachen's account in the author's private writers group, The Ward, suggesting that her mother took her own life because peers in the online indie book community bullied her. In light of this horrible news, authors and online friends helped fund Meachen's funeral, created an anti-bullying anthology in her memory. That didn't look like an anti-bullying anthology. I'm so sorry. Hold on, we're pulling this up on Amazon. There's no way in hell that was that was like a bullying fetish anthology, okay? Hold on. Alright, is this an anti-bullying anthology or what? Fall in love with the jaded lead, root for the drop-dead sexy anti-hero, and run from, or to, dangerous creatures of the night. Succubi, vampires, shifters, fae, magical academies, and more. The Bully King Anthology is a collection of dangerously sexy tales written by a collective of talented authors that you won't be able to find anywhere else. Indulge in your fantasies as we transport you to new worlds that are full of sexual tension, action, and intrigue. I don't think this is an anti-bullying romance. It doesn't have a look inside feature, so I can't do anything with it. I'm sure this collection is great. I just wouldn't call this, like, anti-bullying activism. That's like, imagine that, that's like if someone had taken that, romance parody book that came out a few years ago called Kissing the Coronavirus and said that this book was them doing their part to help fight against COVID, right? Imagine if someone had published Kissing the Coronavirus in someone's honor after they died of COVID and dedicated it to them. That's what this sounds like right here, okay? This is hilarious. It's only funny because she's alive. If she were dead, none of this would be funny. I just want to make that clear. In light of this horrible news, okay, so they made an anti-bullying anthology, sure, Jan, and offered to help her daughter edit her mother's final book free of charge. On Monday, over 2 years later, Meachen's account posted something new in the war. This time it was Susan saying she's actually been alive the whole time. I debated how to do this a million times, she wrote before explaining that she was in fact alive. After rightly assuming people would have questions and someone would want to leave the Facebook group, Meachen ended it with, "Let the fun begin." Meachen was? I love this. People are like, what tense do we even talk about Susan in? We thought she was dead until today. Meachen is or was a self-published indie romance author with 14 titles listed on her Amazon page, including her final book, Love to Last a Lifetime, which was intended to be a wedding present to her daughter. According to a Facebook post on Meachen's author page that promoted the book after her death. From the backlash this new announcement has received, it's clear she had a somewhat sizable presence in the very online indie writers community. Her Amazon author bio reads, "I live in the southeastern corner of Tennessee with my husband of 24 years with our 2 cats and our 4 snakes. If you don't see me running around online, then I'm normally off creating a world for others to enjoy." Arguably, the world she has created this time has not brought folks too much enjoyment. In the world where she pretended to be dead? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm tempted to make a joke about leave it to a self-published romance novelist to give you the twist of a lifetime. I mean, I've been making jokes about this whole ordeal. You can make, what's your name, author of this Jezebel piece? Katie Ruth Ashcraft? Katie Ruth Ashcraft. Now that's a writer name. Anyway, Katie, spelled like Katie from Lindsay Lohan from Mean Girls, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Katie.
Anyway, Katie, you can make whatever jokes you want. The situation is, it's one of those laugh through the pain type of situations. I just meme my way through the pain every day of every year of my whole life. You just meme your way through the pain. You and me, Katie. But the whole ordeal is also baffling and upsetting. If Meachen's latest post in the ward is to be believed, it seems that perhaps she had attempted to end her life in 2020 and that her daughter decided it was best to just tell people she had actually ended her life because it was what the family thought was best. Meachen says she can't fault them for it. I can. Shout out to Katie for this. She's like, you can't fault them for it? I can fault them for faking your death. If you can't fault them for it, I'll do it for you, okay? As a general rule, it's best to announce that someone is dead when they are actually dead. Of course, immediately following Meachen's announcement, revival, resurrection, the online writers community that had rallied around the news of her death 2 years ago had a lot of questions. My personal favorite is the first comment on her post in the ward, which just reads, "WB, welcome back." A search of Meachen's name on Facebook brings up a slew of posts in line with Kelly Kapoor from The Office stating, "Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number 1, how dare you?" Writer and former online friend Samantha A. Cole wrote a lengthy post on her own Facebook page explaining Meachen's resurrection and voicing her own anger and shock. Looking through Amazon's listings of Meachen's books, almost every single one of them could be the title of this drama. Finding Me, 2 books in 1, Stolen Moments, Letting Go. Obviously, a lot of questions have been raised by this whole ordeal. Does Meachen even have a daughter? Is this a hoax in and of itself? If it isn't, is Meachen legally responsible for repaying those who donated to her funeral? What happened in those 2 years between faking her death and now? Why on earth did she end her resurrection post with "Let the fun begin"? Yeah, that one's still throwing me as well. I think there are a lot of takeaways takeaways we can have from this situation. First of all, more and more every day, life imitates art and art imitates life. Was it Oscar Wilde? Was it Aristotle? I believe the quote has been credited to both of them, but those things just become more and more true. This whole situation sounds like a plot I made up to put in the cancel Sean Boston universe, but in reality, it just actually happened, and now I'm also gonna steal it and put it in the cancel Sean Boston universe. Susan, you have been warned.
I'm confiscating this.
Second of all, I think there is the consumer protection angle we can look at this at, because she essentially scammed everyone. As that article said, and as people on Twitter and Facebook had been pointing out, there were people who donated to her funeral after she died. Or died after she pretended to die. There were people who were giving her family money to be able to put on a funeral service for her. People were out there offering to edit her final book for free so that she could get it out there as a wedding present to her daughter, who was supposedly grieving the loss of her mother, who was actually still alive. But people were giving away their labor for free. They were giving away their editing services for free. She took advantage of a lot of authors and a lot of readers by creating a fake persona that wasn't actually who she was. I think this is just more and more looking in the ways that people tend to scam others as a way to try to make more sales. Like I said, it's a commentary on capitalism and also just on people being shitty. This is probably the worst author behavior that I have ever seen. Does that include Matt Walsh? You know, that one's a close race. In the comments below, let me know, which author do you think has been worse to the public and to their fans, readers, reviewers, everyone? Who do you think is a worse force in the book community? Matt Walsh with bullying trans reviewers who read What is a Woman and Johnny the Walrus by putting them on blast for disagreeing with their reviews? Or do you think that Susan Meachen faking her death is worse? Both have led to lots of harassment of people, and for the author's own personal gain, I don't like it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is just the weirdest situation I've ever seen. I'm going to be following it and seeing if any new things unfold, but there are just a lot of interesting topics going on in the book publishing world and in the book communities right now. I believe I have 2 upcoming videos about stuff going on in the book world. One being a topic that's a little bit old news by now, but I really wanted to do an in-depth deep dive on it, and that is the controversy surrounding the new body image book published by the American Girl Doll Company. They have a new self-help book about body image that basically acknowledge that being LGBTQ, being transgender, that those things do happen and those things are fine. And a lot of people, especially like super religious people, were very mad. I believe Matt Walsh's wife was one of the people who was really mad too. We're going to cover that whole situation, and I'll introduce you guys to my new doll during that. I'm also going to be covering the situation with Brandon Sanderson, best-selling fantasy author who has chosen to not put his new books on Audible and instead use non-Amazon distribution services. I think it's a really interesting discussion about how indie authors are kind of preyed upon by large corporations and what he's doing to try to reverse that. I think that'll be a really interesting discussion for that as well. So stay tuned for a lot of big discussions on books and business on this channel, Savvy Writes Books. But in the meantime, please do let me know what you thought about this whole topic in the comments below. I came back early, but if you want to see more from me, subscribe to Your Morning Guru, where I'm live every single weekday morning, and subscribe to my movie reviews channel, which is a new channel that I've been putting some content out on as well. That's all linked below. But I will see you guys again next week for more videos when I'm actually supposed to be returning to YouTube. In the meantime, though, keep on supporting small businesses, support indie authors who, I don't even know how to end this. Support indie authors, but stay a little suspicious of Susan Meachen for now, okay? Bye!
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.